That is why we are here. This started with the mayor, and he needs to go. He needs to go.
Burlington sharing a report from an investigation into possible fraud, waste, and abuse by the Department of Racial Equity and Inclusion.
And according to a message from the city, concerns came in March of this year after multiple news reports out of Minneapolis suggested there were financial issues related to DEI Director Taisha Green and a Black History Month event in February. The articles accused Green of trying to fast-track a contract with the event planner, bypassing a public bidding process. Green was accused of making false statements about a sponsorship from the Bush Foundation and going over budget for the event. After that report came out, the city of Burlington cited factual similarities between overspending for that Black History Month celebration and Burlington's Juneteenth celebration in 2022. So they brought an auditor in to investigate.
The record shows Taisha Green did agree to be interviewed for that process. She pointed out sponsorships and private donations totaling $200,000 to $300,000. She says the budget for the Juneteenth in 2022 was supposed to be $500,000, but the auditor cannot find any documents supporting that statement. Green stepped down from her role in March of 2022.
But if you interrupt me tonight or any other Black person, you are anti-Black. So, but if you still decide to interrupt me, just address my parade, not me. Thank you. Okay. First up, hi Naomi, watching at home, love you. And for the first 15 seconds, I just want to say, you got the right day, but the wrong nigga. In 1915, during the Reconstruction era, there was a film called Birth of a Nation. And the plot, I'll just summarize it. It includes a white knight on a horse, Miro, saving the white woman in distress, Burlington. And it frames Black people, specifically Black masculine people, Taisha, as either incompetent, a super predator, or a monster. So with this auditing, Miro, you tried to use the stalest trope, one of the stalest trope, I'm bored actually, to call a brilliant, beautiful, talented, gifted Black queen incompetent. Fuck off. All right. And Champlain College, when I was 19 years old, during my second year at Champlain College, I was involved in a Title IX investigation. That resulted from 2 kisses on the cheek. I didn't get no pussy, but I got called a rapist. So that is one of the tropes, right? I am a super predator. And now in 2023, it has resurfaced, right? So I was a victim of institutional racism. So my heart goes out to not only Taisha, but the countless Black femmes, Black people, Black masculine bodied people who are continuously targeted by Miro Weinberger and countless other white supremacist motherfuckers. So, Miro, white knight, you get off your horse. Do not think that for a second that you will continue your reign of bullshit whiteness. Get off your horse. And I got one more thing. And revolution is not a one-time event. So Black people always got Black people's back. I'm not really talking to Black people right now. But for you white abolitionists, accomplices, and co-conspirators, I'm not talking to allies, I'm talking to those people, show up again. Revolution is not a one-time event. Word to Audre Lorde. Shit, maybe show up tomorrow. And in conclusion, Miro, you about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your... I'm sorry, I got to wrap that up. I got it. Okay, bye.
Hi, my name is Farine Paris-Meyer. I am Black, I am a woman, I am an educator, I am queer, I am an activist, I'm a Burlington resident, I'm a first-generation student, I'm living with anxiety, I'm financially struggling, and I find myself questioning life. As someone who is a Black woman, who has to move through this community with such a mask sometimes, we're expected to hide our pain, hide that we are not doing well, hide all these different parts that unfortunately allows white people and white supremacy culture to think I am a robot. To think as if I'm not human, to think that I can keep going no matter how hard you kick my Black behind area down. And I, Karen, am asking you to let me know what you will do as council president this evening to ensure that we are not aligning this agenda to support a mayor of our city that has lasted a witch hunt on former director Taisha Green since he was made seen for his mishandling of the CNA report of 2021. There's a reason why 3 years later, we are bringing up finances, we are bringing up things that have been allocated and closed down. This is a witch hunt on former director Taisha Green because Miro has done his time here, and anybody who spends this level of energy and ego and pride and pettiness and surround yourself with yes people to take a Black woman out means that you are in for something for yourself following your time as mayor. And you take out your threat. And I'm going to put that out there because while we not check our facts, while we not do our due diligence to ensure that we're hiring actual auditors and not lawyers to put Taisha Green's life on the line, there's no responsibility while y'all get to go home and put your head down at night while we sit and die over and over in our bodies. So I will step away. Our community will come forward. But Miro, your witch hunt on this queen ends today.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is Katarina.
Okay. Hello, can folks hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll try to use the mic and I'll speak loudly. All right. I think the mic is correct. I'm going to speak loudly. Good evening. My name is Katarina Campbell from Burlington. I'm here speaking on behalf of myself. I'm here in solidarity with Taisha Green, Casey Ellerby, Black femmes, non-binary and trans folks, and women throughout Vermont who have or are currently experiencing racial and gender-based discrimination, harassment, displacement, and terrorism. I've lived in Vermont since 2007, Burlington since 2011, and when I think of civil service and public service, no one embodies that more than Taisha Green, Farine Paris-Meyer, Kaya Morris, the list goes on. Sorry, Hightower. We demand an end to the practices and abuse that former Director Green, Casey Ellerby, and others have experienced. We demand a full public articulation of harm from Mayor Nora Weinberger and the City of Burlington to Taisha Green, Casey Ellerby, and their families for the continued defamation of character and unwarranted actions taken throughout city processes like the audit itself. We demand ongoing independent evaluation and oversight of the hiring and retention policies and solutions employed by the City of Burlington to combat anti-BIPOC and gender-based discriminatory practices. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Romeo Herman, to be followed by...
There's so much hypocrisy going around in America, I can't even stand it. There's hypocrisy every which way we look. I see so much selective outrage every which way from people like you and people like you. I see people being hypocrites. How many times have you called somebody an anti-Semite because they called you out for being corrupt? Now you're experiencing something similar. Black people and everybody in America do the same thing. They do. I'm married to a black woman, and my divorce was a nightmare in this America because I had to deal with black supremacy and white supremacy. You see how vehement it gets when you even want to talk about the problems, right? And but nobody wants to call out the facts that all of the people almost in the last few years that have threatened me were... You see, now they want to shut me up. 2 minutes. You see how violent this is? I can't even get through my statement because I'm getting assaulted for calling people out for the same hypocrisies.
President Paul, can I call a recess?
This is a violation. Yes. I don't see the police officer stopping her from assaulting me because the police are also assaulting me. And I don't see any black people caring about my assaults. Right, I've been told that for years. I started Occupy Wall Street. I got assaulted during Black Lives Matter in the last few years. I got treated like shit. I married a black woman, and my children are half black, and this is a disgrace what we've becoming in this country. The division, the hypocrisy. Yeah, you see the terrorists that you all are. All terrorists. All terrorists.
We're going to continue with the meeting. We're going to continue with the meeting. We're going to continue with the meeting. The next person who is speaking is Brian Sheena. Okay.
From the police person to the two people in the back.
Do you know what that feels like? Do you know what that feels like in our bodies? To have a white man carry on like that and nobody removes them? And you shit. Do you know what that feels like? You let this violence happen. Yes, you do. You're complicit. And if you try to move on to addressing it, this is the problem. Stop trying to ignore the problem. I just asked you, why are you making sure our safety while we're here? You should answer to that. That's the answer. Quickly. Now! We don't feel safe. You're so passive. They're hoping we're going to leave.
I just want people to know that he's gone. He's a couple blocks away. Just, yeah.
You notice how it's someone that's not empowered to do that. This is why community matters over you guys. This is why we matter over you guys. We actually care about each other. We're the ones ensuring our own safety. You're not ensuring our own record. All on record. Why are you guys even here for? Why are you here? You're just taking notes. Why are you here? Where's the security? Talk about who would have done a better job than you.
He works for Mira.
Okay.
That's why. And I'm sitting here because at the end of the day, you all will go home. But yet we don't get to check out of these feelings when we leave this room. As black people, as BIPOC people, whatever it may be, you get to go home. Yes, this might affect where you might move career-wise, or this might affect
Farine.
you might want people to have on your ticket. And I'm not going to stop, Karen, because I need to be heard, because you silence us all the time,
Farine.
You're doing that on purpose. You're doing that on purpose, Miro. You're doing
Farine.
that on purpose. And I just saw that you're raising brown and black children that look like me.
Farine.
And your name will not protect. Take them away. You will someday be on
Farine.
this side looking at white supremacy leadership, being why doesn't nobody care about me? If
Farine.
It's not for me, if it's not for justice, it's not for the Roman, it's not. Do it for your kids. Do it like where is your
All right.
code?
I think we just have to call it recess until people calm down.
I do something unblasphemous. I don't think I'm told to send my ass to jail. For what? Because I'm raising that you are selfish in your miracle? You are selfish. You adjust reports to help you. You take people off of committees because you think they can be ejected because you're black. You think so wildly blind.
All right.
That's how you want to take things out.
But our next all right.
It's fascinating that the camera's right there, so you can't look at the mayor. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Kaya Morris, and I'm a resident of Essex Junction. I'm here today in solidarity with Taisha Green, Casey Ellerby, Black femmes, non-binary, and trans women throughout Vermont who have or are currently experiencing racial and gender-based discrimination, harassment, displacement, and terrorism. I'm here because Taisha and Casey's stories are of my own, and of so many people who live, work, and play in Vermont. I am here because the abuse of political power, or the lack of political courage, by leaders in addressing the racism and deeply entrenched practices of white supremacy and structural racism that have made far too many Black femmes, non-binary folks, gender non-conforming, and trans individuals have to leave this state. Countless of us must choose the safety of their families, job security, and community over fighting back, speaking out, and challenging the harmful practices which negatively impact us all. And in the 15 years that I've lived here in Vermont, nearly every job that I've had has had similar threads. Hire the Black woman, demand more work than what she's compensated for, downplay or usurp her accomplishments, defame her character, and push her out. The harm continues with the economic devastation that comes from this displacement, from the abuse that causes mental and physical distress to her and her family, the loss of another voice, and their irreplaceable contributions to the state. Burlington, Juneteenth, 2021 and 2022 were some of the most triumphant days that I've had since calling Vermont my home. It is foul to cast aspersions on the events and the transformative work that was helmed by former Director Green. Now, Vermont has long struggled to live up to its values, and in this moment, Mayor Weinberger and his administration are proving how dangerous, unchecked misogynoir and bias can be to the lives and livelihoods of Black women and femmes in Vermont. I appreciate one more moment, as some folks did yield their time. I just want to make sure that the final demand that was the most important is that we want a full public articulation of harm from Mayor Miro Weinberger and the city of Burlington to Taisha Green, to Casey Ellerby, to their families, for the continued defamation of character and unwarranted actions taken through the city processes like this audit. Not an apology, a reckoning and accounting for the multiple forms of harm enacted by the city on behalf of the residents. Yes, each and every one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lydia Diamond, to be followed by Leah Briggs. Yes, I did.
Wow. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
My name is Lydia Diamond, and I used to live in Burlington. Now I'm in South Burlington. I had a glorious time this year running for South Burlington City Council. Why did you run, Lydia? They asked. And I said, because no person of color has ever stepped up to do it. So here I am. Guess what? I'm running again. But I want y'all to know I came out today in support of these beautiful Black women behind me because y'all got us all fucked up. And you fuck with one, you fucking with all of us. And we don't play that shit. I'm from the gutters of Brooklyn, New York. And I came to Vermont in '94. My mama brought me here. She wanted me to live. See my shirt? I brought my ancestors with me. Because I had worked for my rep at the Burlington Free Press. But he was a big, beautiful blonde woman named Jennifer Johnson. And she loved to ride Lydia. And I was discriminated against. So even though I don't know Taisha personally, I do know she's a Black woman. So I know exactly what she went through. Did you cut me off? Oh, I know exactly what she went through. And it's been going on for far too long. I came to let y'all know that the domestic violence against women of color has to stop. It has to stop. Enough is enough. We don't want to fight. We want to be respected as human beings. First human beings.
Thank you. Thank you.
We deserve to breathe. We deserve to support our families. We deserve everything that you get. I'm entitled to it too.
Thank you so much.
Are you trying to shut me down?
I'm telling you that your time is up.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
Okay.
You have not seen the last of me.
Anti-LGBTQ bills moving through legislatures nationwide, Burlington City Councilors are taking a stance against hate. Tonight, they passed a resolution showing support for Burlington's queer community, specifically transgender individuals. Channel 3's Rachel Mann is at City Hall right now. Rachel, what prompted them to take this stance?
Christina, it was a series of bills in legislatures across the country, but closer to home, there were stickers with transphobic messages placed around the city of Burlington in several places, including schools.
This rhetoric is impacting youth and their lives on a daily basis.
Dana Kaplan is the executive director of Outright Vermont.
They to say that we value equity and we value inclusion, and it's another thing to make sure that that's trickling down to the lived experiences of young people.
He and many others supported the resolution condemning hateful actions towards the LGBTQ community.
Been a beacon for LGB people, but the TQI of us are not being served well in this state. We need these resolutions to support transgender neighbors and community members.
One of the biggest talking points was stickers placed in public spaces throughout the city, including schools. While many say they have transphobic messages, one of the individuals responsible for them disagrees.
You are targeting a group of gays, lesbians, and bisexuals only because they refuse to enthusiastically indulge the delusions of a loud minority.
Burlington School Superintendent Tom Flanagan sent a letter to parents about fear among trans individuals within the school community because of the recent rhetoric from across the nation. In it, Flanagan says, "I am writing this message to express BSD's condemnation of trans hate and our support for our trans community, and also to let you know, as members of our community have let me know, that we should check in with loved ones, validate their experiences, and let them know they are appreciated."
People that are trying to get to school and seeing stickers that are targeting their identity, telling them that who they are is not allowed to exist, or who they are is somehow faulty. That matters. That has impact.
Some people at Monday's meeting talked about their experiences growing up trans and say they hope to create a better future.
Haven't had any contact with my blood family in over 10 years, and I don't miss it. I tell you what my life is like now because it's really good. It's funny what being in a supportive environment and having loving people will do.
Kaplan says while anti-LGBTQ legislation hasn't made its way to Vermont, harmful messages from leaders elsewhere are still having an impact.
We are not immune to these hate tactics, and it's important for us as community to stick together.
The resolution also makes several commitments, including tracking transphobic and other hate speech, asking Burlington State Delegation to look into the current state hate crime statute, and working with the Burlington Police Department to examine the city's graffiti ordinance. Christina?
We're learning more tonight about the person arrested in connection with a Burlington shooting we first told you about last night. Police arrested Tovi Misek on Sunday after they allegedly shot a man in the chest. Now, according to court paperwork, the man's wife called 911 around 6:30 last night and told police that Misek fired the shot. Misek had been staying with the couple at the Salmon Run Apartments. Winooski police ended up locating and arresting Misek. In court today, Misek pled not guilty to one count of attempted murder. They're being held without bail tonight. If convicted, Misek could face 20 years to life in prison.
Olivia Taylor's on a mission, hunting something she wishes she'd never find.
It's protecting our trans and queer youth.
Every Tuesday, she and neighbors scour Burlington looking for stickers that question the validity of transgender identities or claim trans athletes don't belong on sports teams consistent with their gender identity. They've been appearing lately in parks or along the city's bike path. Olivia insists they simply don't reflect Vermont values, so is determined to take them down.
Removing these should shows kids and the community that we care, shows possible bullies that like that's not an okay thing. And I mean, if it just makes like one person feel a little bit more safe, then it's good.
As maddening as these stickers are to people who disagree with the rhetoric, prosecutors say right now it appears there's nothing they can do about them. The state's attorney for Chittenden County blasts the messages as mean and potentially dangerous, given how studies have shown trans youth are at greater risk for self-harm. But since the stickers don't contain direct threats, the head prosecutor here says legal precedent around free speech means her office may struggle to win a criminal case in court.
A majority of our community is in support of LGBTQ people.
Taylor Small of Winooski is Vermont's first openly transgender state lawmaker. She sees the stickers as part of a national rise in anti-trans language and even violence. Think of the recent bomb threats targeting Boston Children's Hospital for its policies around affirming care for trans and non-binary youth. So Small's grateful to folks who scrape off those slogans and to anyone else working toward a more welcoming, diverse Vermont.
When we're able to combat that hate with love is when we start to see that transformation in community that focuses on care rather than divisiveness.
Burlington's mayor, Murrow Weinberger, is meeting with advocates to discuss if the city could do more, perhaps a fresh look at graffiti ordinances or taking a restorative justice approach with the people responsible.
I think it's a deeply held community value. It's certainly one that I share, that Burlington should be a place where people of all backgrounds, all orientations feel welcome. And there's no doubt that these stickers are causing real distress and discomfort within the community, and this should stop.
Until they do, Olivia Taylor and others promise to keep scraping away, hoping each removed sticker tells trans community members, we've got your back.
I'd like to invite those who know the words to join me in singing the Black National Anthem. And then we will make our way over to City Hall to go bear witness to what needs to happen next. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing arise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the hope that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Thank you.